If everyone is ready, those of you have been here before knows what comes next. If you're new, grab your remote and have your finger on the play button, but don't press it yet because we're going to do this at the same time. Okay? On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Great job, Cindy. And you didn't sound like a robot.
Looks like we're still in the Catskills.
More good dresses, I bet.
That sounded like a warning.
Susie being here feels a little weird to me.
I remember those days keeping on the edge change.
I mean, that was like, for me, I remember when I came to Hollywood for the first time in 2000, the first thing I did was call my agent on a payphone.
Yeah, I remember carrying change around for him too, especially before I was a driver and I had to take buses places in case I need to call home. No cell phones.
And look, she still has her plunger.
Keeping up the charade.
That's funny because this game is I only associate it with children.
Maybe it's going to get very adult soon.
Oh my gosh, she cursed. And then if you need time, stay for around 6 minutes.
Hello, Kristen. Let me know if you need a timestamp.
Did they just steal someone's fries?
Yeah, that's okay. It's just a plate of fries. It's easy to replace.
Yeah, but Susie earlier grabbed an asparagus or somebody's off of somebody's plate.
I
And
think those may be plates for the staff. Maybe. Possibly.
or maybe
Maybe
it was a
not.
green bean. I don't know, but she stole something off green off the.
So did Miriam.
She mentioned Lenny Bruce, and one of my favorite characters.
I like that she called him her best friend, Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, I think that's like a staff dining room. That's what it looks like to me.
You're probably right.
So, stealing food off other staff members' plates, that's okay.
Why so many eggs? What the heck?
Yeah, he's only eating eggs and drinking milk.
Oh, Susie's gonna whoop her butt.
He wouldn't row, so her mom wants her to walk.
Oh, she needs to hop in that car with Benjamin. Heck yeah.
Revlon actually created some lipstick colors from the show that you can purchase.
Did you try it?
No. I don't think that I can do bright red.
What's the name of that type of game? The where you put the sand on the table and you throw the puck?
Jason calls it
Shuffleboard.
shuffleboard when I just asked him.
I don't think it's shuffleboard. I mean, it's like, I mean, unless that's like a mini version of shuffleboard, but I mean, shuffleboard is like is a stand-up game.
Yeah, we know that shuffleboard stand-up game, but
Maybe shuttleboard. Yeah, something like that.
My dad's first job was setting up pins in a bowling alley way back in probably the early or mid 50s.
Yeah, when they had to hand score everything too.
Well, I remember in the 80s bowling when I was a little kid, and one of our local bowling, we still had to hand score.
John, it is called shuffleboard. I just looked up shuffleboard, and I can't. It came up
Yeah, I
with a whole
guess it
bunch of
is.
searches.
Yeah, yeah. I got some back channel messages telling me the same.
Jason was correct. One of the pizza joints here has one of those.
I kind of want to make one of those.
They're very long. You need very long space.
I've
Moishe's
played it
shirt's weird.
before. I've played it before, but I can't remember what the game is, what it's called.
We used to
Shuffleboard.
play it. Yeah, we used to play it all the time. My brother had a shuffleboard table that he got like from the bowling alley or something when they were getting new ones. So it's fun.
Did he keep it in his garage? It's so big.
Yes, because his garage was like a man cave. It had video games. It was just his space.
Cool.
Just me, or did that bowling ball look unnaturally light for her?
They do make bowling balls like that, super light ones, and they
I
just
know, but
kept
that thing
flailing.
looked like it was made of styrofoam.
It probably was, though.
Back then, the bowling balls were made out of rubber, so they could have been super light.
I can't. I just can't unsee Shazam. Every time he comes on screen, I just see Shazam.
Do you think she told Susie she left?
I don't think so. And I think Susie would be very upset with her.
Her outfit is fabulous, though.
That car is fabulous.
I wonder if that was done with a drone, or if they were on a if it was on a crane on the other side of their car.
Yeah, that was an amazing shot.
I'm
And the
gonna
way it started
guess
over and behind them and then
drone.
kind of curved around.
I don't know. It was a really that's a really difficult shot to do with a drone because of the way that it flips.
So quiet.
Does anyone know how tall Zachary Levi is? He
Like
looks a
six,
little
over 6 feet.
cramped in the driver's side.
He's like 6'5", 6'6". He's very tall.
Did you guys catch on the radio? They were talking about Robert Moses and the slum clearance. That was a nod back to the Jane Jacobs situation in season 1.
I did not catch that, Diana.
Wait a second. That's Chuck.
Yes, I said that last time, but you must have
Yes,
missed it.
it's the
I didn't watch the show, but now it's like hitting me because I only think of him as as Shazam.
And I always think of him as Chuck before I think of him as Shazam.
oh, I just think of him as Zachary Levi, and that's enough.
That's very true. And I looked it up, Kendra. It says he's 6'3".
That's not as tall as I thought. I'm disappointed.
Diana, somebody was asking if you could repeat what you said about the radio commentary versus last season's.
Oh, they on the radio they just mentioned that Robert Moses was, I think, stepping down from his position. I'd have to check the timing on that one, the year. But they were talking about slum clearance, which was what Jane Jacobs was talking about in the scene where we meet her at the protest in season 1. And basically, Robert Moses was trying to build a highway through the West Village and calling it slum clearance. And that's, basically he was ruining the neighborhood. And, there's a lot more about him. But I thought it was really interesting that they put that on the radio. The time must work out, actually. I have to do a little research.
Thank you.
It made she look really pale.
She does, doesn't
I love that interaction between them two.
Oh, I do too. Major.
They love the song.
This was an actual show that was going on at this time.
So Kendra, I got a back channel message from someone who says that maybe he looks taller because she's so much shorter than him by a whole.
I bet. I just thought he was taller, but that's okay. I still love him.
He's still
He's
tall.
Well,
tall enough for
I think
me.
that I think the reason why I didn't recognize him immediately is because I did think he was really really tall, and the Chuck character doesn't seem that tall against his co-star, or his I forget her name, Australian actress on Chuck.
Was it Yvonne something?
Yeah, Yvonne something. But they're closer in height, and so he doesn't look that tall as Chuck.
Why is Midge smoking? She is not a smoker.
I actually like Perry Mason.
And of course, it's ironic because Miriam's been to court.
They play police. Diana, is this true? Are there play police?
No, I don't. I mean, maybe then, but
I love these two together.
I've never walked out halfway through a play either. No matter how bad it is, I just go back in.
I mean, people leave shows. Yeah.
My two favorite guys.
Oh, I love me some Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce and Benjamin. I love how she's looking at him to see his reactions.
He's on call, but he's getting drunk.
A drink and a glass of water, like John said.
I love their interactions too.
Lured to the dark side. Is that that's kind of feels like a Star Wars reference and would be a little too late early for that.
I thought you might like that.
Well, it doesn't seem to fit unless somebody has a better reference for how it would have made sense at that time.
He's just talking about the dark side of the microphone, like,
In the
you know,
spotlight where you can't see
comics,
everybody.
yeah, weren't exactly really respected in that day and age, so it wouldn't be something that would be seen as proper for someone like her to do.
Oh,
Comics,
I get
yeah.
that. It's just the expression itself, being lured to the dark side, is feels like it's not an expression that would have been said at that time.
John, did you catch that he said he's gorgeous?
Who said? He said she's
Lenny,
gorgeous.
no, Lenny said that Zach
Oh, he's
or
good. That
Benjamin's
Zach
gorgeous.
is gorgeous. Yeah, he is gorgeous.
He is gorgeous.
Right? And I can say that because he's not a teenage character.
I love that. Keep on looking. An actual phone booth?
The plungers on the shelf.
Oh no, she lost her plunger.
There's the title. Meet me at the Concord. You guys, I'm a big horror fan, as most of you know, and that the sister-in-law is on Mr. Mercedes.
Yes, she is. And she's brilliant in it.
She's also on Succession, and she's also pretty brilliant on that as well.
Is Miriam wearing or Midge wearing her ring because of the act? Because I guess they're still technically married, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's all the like the pearls, the ring, the cocktail dress. I think it's all part of the act.
Yeah, I know they're not legally divorced yet, or will be, or whatever. I don't know. They just talked about it, or if they're actually going to do it. But yeah, anyway, fancy.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't say Nancy. I said fancy.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry, I was like Nancy.
Even though your name is Fancy Nancy.
It is a pretty big.
She looks nervous.
Why is she holding on to that plunger? Even here.
You saw how attached she was to the plunger. She had to go back through the skating rink and through bingo and whatnot just to look for it. Like, they have been on many adventures together. She can't lose it again.
That plunger is becoming her signature.
She did say earlier she left it somewhere and somebody used it and she was very upset. So she has to guard it now.
Just a little note. This is the second kind of second time that in this season of the show where we've taken the narrative away from New York or to a new location, and then in the second episode, Midge leaves, and the narrative then splits between this place and what's going on with Midge.
I take it you don't like that.
I don't know. I have to think about it a little bit more. It's just something that I just thought about it now. I didn't really love it that much in the Paris stuff, just because I wasn't crazy about the Paris storyline.
Hopefully you like this one better. Got the Hawaiian theme going there.
She still has that damn coat on. Like, seriously.
So, by the way, I think we mentioned this before, but interesting. This takes place in 1959, and it's taking place in the summer, and that is when Hawaii became a state in August of '59.
Did he just say poo poo?
He did.
I wonder if there was a lot of like this kind of fanfare around Hawaii becoming a state, or if it just was like people have Hawaiian themed parties. I mean, they still do. So I wonder like what the news was like at the time.
Well, I mean, we kind of associate like that kind of tiki, like Hawaiian style with the like early '60s, late '50s, and it kind of makes sense that it would align with that a bit.
Yeah, that's true. Like people were probably really excited.
Yeah, that there was kind of an excitement around the idea of it, and maybe even, I mean, statehood is not that easy to do. It requires a lot of wheels have to move in government for it to happen. So you kind of need it to be a big branding thing. Like the whole nation needs to be behind the idea.
Yeah, look at DC. They've been trying to become a state for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it to happen, I mean, the idea of like kind of making it a pop culture phenomenon seems like a pretty interesting way.
Same thing with
Yeah,
Puerto
I mean,
Rico. If
and
you
think
have,
about it, there hasn't been a new state since 1959.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having a memory that like the Wonder Years did a Hawaiian themed party episode. I think it's like one of the first episodes of the Wonder Years, which would be like early '60s.
Tits up, everyone. Wow, seeing it from our angle with the light in your eyes.
Whoa.
that is not a happy dad.
Mm,
Whoa. Oh my gosh, this is really one of the best moments in the series so far.
Wonder how many times she had to rehearse this. She's talking so.
She must feel like a teenager right now, or younger.
He put on that hat.
What did he say? I'm taking what?
I'm
I'm
taking
taking
you
you home.
home.
Okay,
I'm keeping
sorry,
you my
I
kid. Puts
missed
on
it.
that hat.
Look at Susie.
Are we in trouble?
The
Oh, so
plunger.
good.
Oh, I forgot. It came to me just before that happened. That scene. What was gonna happen? I was just like, oh, I can't wait.
That was
Yeah.
awesome. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
I thought John was gonna guess it.
Awesome.
I was waiting for him to say her dad's gonna be in the audience. I was
No,
waiting.
I didn't. I did not see that coming at all. That was freaking great. I loved that episode. I loved everything about that episode. The whole thing. Yeah, and like I guess getting back to the whole thing about the two narratives happening with her like going back to the city and whatnot. Like that was just pointing that out as just as something that I found interesting. That they've done that now twice and in this particular season, but I didn't really have any. I didn't really have any problem with it in this episode. Just thought it was interesting. But man, was that a good episode.
The,
That was a good episode.
the
It,
couch is open if anybody else wants to come up.
it's really hard for me to like decide which part's better because there's just a few parts that are really good. Like the scene between her and Benjamin, where they're trying to decide if they should go on a date. They're both admitting they're not sure about stuff. I really like that when she's like, "You like me?" He's like, "I don't know."
He's really he's very easy to like, this character. Very easy to like. And very easy to like him more than Joel
Do
for
you
her.
like him? Do you like him better than Lenny Bruce?
Yeah, because at this point I'm not really feeling like Lenny Bruce and Midge have any real.
He's a stronger. I think he's a stronger character and a stronger lead for her
You
than
mean
Joel.
Lenny Bruce is?
No, no.
Oh, Benjamin.
Benjamin.
No, but
Yeah,
John, right now you don't see
I
the
don't actually see
romantic
Lenny Bruce.
connection.
I don't really see Lenny Bruce with a romantic connection to Midge anymore.
And he's still
I
married too.
they're just buns. They're just buddies.
Lenny Bruce is still married anyway, but that's a whole other topic.
But isn't Midge still married too, technically,
Yeah,
legally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, my feelings about Lenny Bruce and Midge don't really have anything to do with like whether or not they have significant others. It's like, do they have romantic chemistry? And I thought I felt it early on, but at this point, they really do truly feel like buddies, like platonic buddies, and I haven't really gotten uh, I haven't gotten any more of a sense of romantic connection than I get from Susie and and Midge, but I am getting a romantic connection between Midge and Benjamin, and and I like it. I like him. I like him more than Joel.
Well, he kind of gets her once he realized she's funny. I mean, just like he gets that she didn't like the play, so he suggests that they leave, and he lets her be able to leave. And so far, he gets the little that he knows about. How about
Yeah.
Susie and that other workman at the I'm just kidding.
Chester.
I was
Chester's
surprised
into
it took
Susie.
that, I was surprised it took that long for them to pick up that she didn't work there. Because all the workers seem to have like a uniform, and even though she would carry a plunger and look like a worker, like I would think she was stood out.
Yeah, the plunger thing, and I mean, I'm really curious to find out who this guy, this weird dude that is lurking around there. I feel like we've got another episode in the Catskills, at least another episode in the Catskills, because there's just too much stuff that has been unanswered and left sort of up in the air.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to continue with where it left off next episode.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
is
I
that
was thinking
guy?
the
Who is
same
that?
thing. I don't
Who
either.
who is that weirdo?
Often are
I
driving
mean,
me
no, I'm not
mad.
asking. I'm not asking for the actual answer to that question. That's just like me speaking out loud. Who is that guy? The guy eating the eggs and carrying the wrench and crisscross, crisscross.
Susie's
So,
love interest.
but exactly. So you're predicting, John, that Benjamin and Midge might actually be longer than 1 or 2 dates?
I'm not predicting that. No. I'm just saying that I like him, and he's very easy to like. He's fun and funny and no nonsense and honest and seems to be a good person and and he seems to have like a little like he seems to get Midge in a way that feels that feels right and feels like something she sort of deserves. I like that. Yeah, I like that. That she you know reveals to him that she's a comic. I liked his reaction to that. He seems like he doesn't go with the typical societal expectations of even just the fact that he had no problem leaving the theater, just said so much about who he is.
And also him leaving Catskills so early because with his one box of cereal and then he leaves.
Yeah. And like, that's who Midge is like, like she's living this life that's all about, you know, going against the grain, going against societal norms, and this is a guy who completely has no doesn't seem to have any problem with that. And that feels like somebody, that would be at least an interesting exploration as a love interest. That said, my gut tells me that because it feels like it works so well, I'm having a hard time imagining like longer term conflict with that character. And for that reason, alone, it doesn't feel like it has enough narrative juice to go past maybe a, a few episodes. Maybe maybe I give it to the end of the season max, but I could imagine it kind of falling apart even before then.
How about
And mostly just because of how many things seem to work. That usually means that like there's just not a lot of like narrative juice there because you need conflict. You need the characters to be at odds in order for us to keep, for there to be a story there. And right now, it's like everything seems to be about like how many things they have in common.
So you're saying it's too good to be true?
No, I mean I'm just saying that it might be just based on how what they're sort of setting up right now might not have enough conflict to actually charge a story and keep the character there long
he's
enough.
saying it's
It,
not dramatic enough for his personal taste?
no, 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 not
I
not
know.
not
I'm just
not
teasing with
not that
Joel.
either. I mean, I just like it's just you just have seen that trope before. Characters who just feel like they work so well together, and because of it, the writers don't have a lot that they can do with those characters. It's not like they can just have the character just like linger around as like the person
But
that
Joel is still sniffing around, so
because
maybe that
Joel,
will create conflict.
well, maybe. Maybe, but there's not a lot of conflict. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of conflict. I can't really imagine there to be a lot of conflict between Midge and Benjamin right now, and I think that's the more important of the two. There's a lot of conflict between Midge and Joel, and that's what keeps him in the story because that conflict keeps the story moving. But you know, right now, the most interesting part of the Midge Benjamin relationship is the courting phase because it's this phase where we're kind of like discovering all of these aspects about the characters that seem to be aligned. Once that honeymoon phase is over, then what's the character's purpose on the show? Like that's the only thing that I'm thinking. And there might be one and I just can't think of it right now. Like it's not coming to me right now, but just instinctively it feels like this is a character that like it works and then they realize it just doesn't work and then he leaves and that's sort of my impression of it. He also sort of strikes me a little bit as like a character that was brought in for a season, like an actor who was brought in for a season, so that might also be partly what I'm influenced by. So I think no later than the end of this season.
I,
That he'll be gone is basically what you're saying.
Pretty much, or so diminished in the broader story world that he's not really there.
Lynn, were you gonna say something? I'm sorry.
you're fine. Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting I find because with Joel, like here he had those three girls like hitting on him, and he was like oblivious to it, and probably because he might, I don't know, he might still have feelings. Those feelings for Midge, and here Midge is moving on. Um, so it shows you two dynamics.
Well, she said, that little cute little that spillway goes into the little interaction between Joel and his mother. That cute interaction, she's not, you're waiting for her, but she's probably not waiting for you. She's moved on. I love that cute little heartfelt conversation that Joel had with his mother.
Well, I think his mom's saying that because his father thinks that, and his father thinks he should just move on. But I don't know.
I'm just saying because usually the mother is like an annoying character. I don't know if anybody feels that she's annoying, but maybe that's the wrong word to use. But in that moment, she was actually, not saying something that's what I don't know if nagging's the right word, annoying. I just,
Like
I don't know how
overbearing
to say it. Yeah, overbearing.
mother.
It was a sweet moment.
But actually, the actress who played his mother is actually Jewish,
But back then,
and that's why she does that role very well.
John, did you say you think Lenny Bruce is gonna be like non-existent later?
Oh no, I think Lenny Bruce will probably be a part of this series the entire way through. I just don't. I'm not right now sensing that they are going to make him any sort of significant love interest for Midge. That he's just going to always serve as this like this occasional mentor character that she checks in with from time to time throughout the series.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that the Benjamin character is going to be sort of I'm sensing going to be phased out eventually. Like that that there's going to be this kind of like exciting like this could be wow, so many things seem right, maybe, and then it's going to be like a no.
What did you guys think about the interaction between um the brother Midge and the sister-in-law?
That they thought she was going to meet a man, or the
The whole thing, the stinking, she smells, all that.
I think the stinking she smells is just like a bit. Doesn't it have to do with her trying to get pregnant? So she's just trying all these like
That was the
remedies.
idea that she's like trying her best to get pregnant. Do they know yet? Do they know yet definitively that it's her? Like, or has he like? I can't remember if they've said like that he's taken any tests to see if it's potentially him.
I don't know if he's taking any tests. He's okay with never having kids, but she feels like she has to, kind of thing. She wants to, but she feels like it's like she has to make him happy or he'll leave her. That was part of the when we met them in season one. So she's kind of
Yeah,
obsessed with
no,
giving him an
I
heir.
remember that, but I think that like if she knows that it's her that that she's the one that has trouble having children, then that would lead her. But if she knew that if she didn't really know, then it's possible that it could be him, and that all of her like all of the herbal all of the herbal remedies in the world aren't going to change that.
But back then, I don't, was it common for men to have that checked
No,
back then?
no,
Yeah,
I
so
don't think
they
so.
probably
I don't
they
think so.
probably didn't
But I
even
think that
consider it.
I think there were tests at that time. I could be wrong, but I think that there were tests at their time that there were like fertility tests that both men and women could take in the late 50s that would have given them an answer. Maybe I'm wrong about that though.
Yeah, I don't know the history on that. I just it seems like maybe they wouldn't have even considered that, and especially based on how his character had said that he was okay with it either way, he probably wouldn't bother. But yeah, I don't know. I like the interaction. I think her brother's kind of suspicious of things. Maybe he doesn't really think she was going to meet a guy, but um, it's hard to tell because he was pretty quiet, just kind of looking at her in the rearview mirror the whole time, on and off. But no, it was nice of him to drive her up there. Didn't look like a short drive.
And I also thought that scene was funny because, I mean, be interested to hear what Nancy thinks about this. The way that Astrid kept saying "Shane upon him." I mean, that's not really something you'd say about a man. It's Yiddish for a pretty face. It's more like something you'd say about a woman. I took it as kind of Astrid trying too hard to fit in.
She does try pretty hard every time she's on screen, right?
I heard somebody mention Yiddish and I thought I would pipe in. Um, I've heard it said about a man's face, but you're right, it's much more often spoken of a woman or a young lady.
Yeah, I mean, not never, but
I would
those
imagine
are
that
the
it's
scenes.
similar to people saying, "Oh, he's pretty," like and usually that we get that that means handsome, even though pretty is typically reserved for women.
What
Can
do
we
you think
talk
about
about? Oops, sorry.
it? Sorry, I was gonna ask what you guys thought about her dad's reaction to what he saw and heard. I mean, I feel like it's a little bit awkward, talking about hearing your daughter talk about sex, but
Oh
He
my
seemed quite
gosh.
upset.
That scene was just amazing and it's just made the whole season for me. I love that she still totally crushed it and just brought down the house while also being just mortified and terrified. Um,
It
and
reminds me why I like season 2 so much,
oh,
to be honest.
so awesome. It was so awesome. Um, yeah, and Abe was just so interesting in that scene.
I think it was really true to his character, his reaction. He is very proud, and and I think also it might have, you know, he might have been suspecting that, um, something was going on, and certainly Rose, is wondering what she does at night, and um, I just think that it in his face was just sort of such a mix of things, betrayal and also, but also realization, I think.
I think he was just upset and embarrassed. Because I mean, he said one line to her after walking back there. He looked at her and he says, "I'm taking you home," puts his silly hat on and walks away. I mean, I think he has to process it a little, but I don't think he's happy at all. And I'm not sure he was really expecting this, if anything. But he said, I can't believe he sat through the whole thing and didn't walk out,
I think.
but
Oh, sorry.
made it funny. No, go ahead. I was just kind of
I
thinking.
think, yeah, I think he was shocked, and like you said, almost mortified, like that his daughter, is not who he thought she was, because she kept this secret from him, and if women at that time didn't do those things or say those dirty jokes, or and then
Yeah, well,
now here,
And not just
also,
dirty jokes, but dirty jokes about her family.
yeah, but
exactly.
also
That's when-
also remember, he's been sitting on this information for a while. He's known about her doing stand up, right?
I don't think so, but I
Abe?
might be wrong.
Yeah, didn't Abe have this information?
He knew she'd been
I
arrested.
Oh, arrested. No, but
Yeah, he didn't
he
know
knew
why.
no, but didn't he know that she was arrested for lewd behavior, like at a club?
Oh, yeah, but she was drunk, you know. I think he may have assumed she just got really drunk and upset and like stormed on the stage and took over. I don't think he has any idea that she has a career in stand up and that's what she does night after night.
Yeah,
Really?
I think he's putting the pieces together of
Got it.
Bell
Okay, maybe
Labs
that's
told
what it
me she was
is.
arrested. Like, oh my goodness, this is what's been going on. Like, we're watching the kids a whole lot. Like, I think that's what's happening is that he's finally just putting all the pieces together.
And he needs to
And
think about.
knowing about it and seeing your daughter on stage doing those dirty jokes is a whole different thing.
And
Yeah, for
and I
sure.
think that's why that just brought up, like, he didn't walk, surprised that he didn't walk out, surprised that he stayed for the whole set. And that's a choice that he made, to stay, to not walk out, that he felt it very, he wanted, that he felt it was necessary to come backstage and say, I'm taking you home. I mean, the hat was fabulous. That whole the putting the hat on was so great. And totally diffused this incredibly tense moment. But yeah, that's, it could have gone two ways. It could have gone him, you know, him walking out, and or when he saw her getting up, and leaving, like, so that she wouldn't see that he was watching her. But he was in such a close proximity to the stage that it probably was impossible to do that. But I think the meant something too, in terms of his like his shock, but also sort of his beginning to accept it.
Mm,
I don't know if
Well,
I would say
that
accept.
yeah, I don't know about that because here's the thing is that he's smart enough to know that sitting there just deadpan staring at her, he's smart enough to know that that is going to harm her performance.
You know, I very much have like got some of the Dirty Dancing vibes from this whole Catskills thing. I wasn't here with you guys on Saturday, so I don't know if this is already brought up, but like this moment reminds me very much of like Baby and her father, like discovering that she was like, hanging out with other people, these, kind of the darker side of life. So, and I think that that was such a powerful moment in Dirty Dancing, and I feel like it's the same here. Like, you're on the edge of your seat, like your stomach hurts for her, like, like, oh my gosh. Anybody that has parents, obviously, or like had those moments when like you were caught by your parent and you're just like get that pit in your stomach.
But I mean, the fact that he didn't leave, and he just sat there and he just stared at her, judging her. I mean, very clearly, like parent, like showing you that I am disappointed in you. I mean, like that is a real. I see that as a real decision to not just to let somebody know that you don't approve, that he could have done by getting up, leaving, waiting for her, and then afterwards telling her I don't approve, or behaving similarly to the way that he did there at the show. But by staying there, that's a like really an effort to, I think, to stop it, to actually stop it right there, whether it be like by, hurting her performance, making it, harder for her to continue to perform. Because I can't imagine what does he get out of that by sitting there and just staring at her, like, with this. I I interpreted it as with, some degree of judgment, a bit of contempt. What do you get? What does he get out of that? He's a smart guy, and the only thing I can think is that he doesn't care if in that moment she becomes so flustered that the performance is ruined, and maybe she walks off stage earlier.
And I think
Interesting.
before, like, he knew she was telling jokes, but I don't think he took it in any way, shape, or form seriously. And I don't think he thought she was successful at it. I mean, people were enjoying her set. And so I think it was kind of a slap in his face, like, oh my gosh, she is good at this. And listen to the things coming out of my daughter's mouth. So I think there was a little bit of, holy crap, I have to take this seriously, and I'm embarrassed. But I kind of felt for him at that moment.
Oh yeah.
And like in the last episode, remember the statement he made, like, how much trouble can she be? Like, she's a girl. He makes snide comments like that, which is of the time. I get it, but I think he views her, he just doesn't take her too seriously too often. And now he's going to learn to.
Yeah, well, that for sure. I also think that I agree that I feel bad for him because I mean, you know, like he's embarrassed, you know, and she's not relenting, you know, she keeps going, she keeps digging further, and so there's also part of me that sort of feels like, yeah, it's in his right to just let her know, like, no, I'm not happy with what you're doing right now, and I'm not going to stand up and leave here. I'm going to let you know through this whole thing. You want to continue this? You want to finish your act? You want to be great? Great, do it. But you're not going to. I'm not going to walk out of here. I'm going to let you know every step of the way that I do not like it.
I don't know. I think there's a part of Abe that is immensely proud
Ooh,
because
do tell,
I
do
don't read
tell.
that scene. I read it as like, actually, Tiffany, like the Dirty Dancing thing is kind of, I feel like it's a very similar relationship because, you know, he's really bewildered by what's happening, you know? But I think there he doesn't leave because I think he's actually just kind of stunned, but there's no way, like, she doesn't mess it up. Like, which, we know, like, oh, she's talking really fast, like she's really nervous, like, it maybe won't go well because of, like, him being there. But the truth is, she gets through that set in the most dire of circumstances. Not only is her set about her parents and sex, which, like, that's not every set of hers, right? Like, she's got plenty of other sets that don't deal with that subject matter. But not only is that her set, but her father's like sitting in front of her, and he's paralyzed by, like, I think he just can't move. But I think the fact that she not only gets through it, but it's so clear that this room of like 1,000 people is 100% charmed by her. I can't I can't say that a parent wouldn't be somewhat proud of that. And we
Mm.
know from their relationship that he's always kind of looked to her for more, than like he would maybe another daughter, right? Like, I mean, he knows that she is smart, that she makes her own decisions. Like, he's always kind of like wanting more from her because he knows that she's capable of it. He's got he connects with her in a way that Rose doesn't. And that's been evident the whole series. Like, we know that. So I kind of feel like there's a piece of him that might be sad that he wasn't let in on it. Um just totally bewildered by his own child, like commanding this room full of people and powering through something that is so obviously uncomfortable. I don't know. I think
But he's
I
certainly not
think
making it easier for her.
he's
Uh,
not, but like, I don't
I
think
know.
that's what it's about. I think
Yeah, I
he's
know, no,
stunned.
I know, but okay. I mean, I guess the stunned part, I guess probably, I could prob, I could probably buy that he's literally like deer caught in the headlights. He just looks particularly upset there, sitting in the audience. So to me, it didn't read totally like stunned. But I mean, if he really is truly proud of her commanding this audience, I would expect at some point for him to make it easier for her, and he doesn't. He really doesn't. He doesn't even look around at the audience to see, like, that's happening. He's really just like laser focused, like shooting, beams of hot energy at her, and it's just I just ask myself, like, why, especially if he is proud. I think that you might be right about that. It's just there's something about what happened there that, like, it doesn't the pieces don't quite match up for me. But I could see in the next episode him being really, really upset, and then in his upset, in some upset like speech he's giving to her, he reveals how incredibly proud he was.
I
I
think
could see that.
there haven't been a ton of times where we've seen Abe not scowling. You know, like I kind of feel like it's on brand for him to be like, what is this? You know, like I kind of feel like that's his personality. We've only seen him smile when they arrived
That's true.
at,
That is
at
actually true.
the
Yes.
club. And is, yeah, like, so I kind of feel like, I don't know, maybe he reminds me of my father, you know, where he's just like, there's a quiet, um, admiration, but he's not going to give you the satisfaction of letting you know that. You know what I mean? Like he's still the father.
Yeah, you know what? That I kind of buy that this is a personality trait of his that he actually like doesn't have the he just that's just not his way.
I think she knows she's in trouble though, because Susie asked her, "Are we in trouble?" And she says, "Yes." Like, he's pissed right at this moment. I think you're right, John. He may get over it and find that proud papa inside, but right at this moment, I think he is just furiously angry with her. That look on his face, I
Yeah.
saw that look on my grandfather's face as a teen, and I knew my ass was in big, big trouble just by the look.
Your ass was grass.
Oh, for sure. Just the look. It didn't take a single word. I just got the look and I knew I was in trouble.
Well, what a great episode. I mean, what a great episode.
Is this your
It,
favorite so far?
yeah, it's my favorite so far,
What
for
do you
sure.
think, or John? How do you think her mom's gonna react? Because you know Gabe's gonna go tell her.
Do you think he's
Um,
gonna tell her?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know if he will because he didn't let Rose in on the arrest. He kept that to himself as well.
If he's angry, I think he's gonna tell her.
Yeah, but remember
I,
what happened when he didn't tell his wife about the arrest?
Ooh, right.
She went to Paris.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Um, how will she react? I don't know. Could go one way. Could go either way. I mean, it's possible that Rose will. I don't know. It's possible that Paris has sort of opened Rose up to being a little bit more carefree, and she'll see that as a positive trait in her daughter.
Oh, what if, when Rose was at the college, she was speaking to those women, kind of like, you won't get jobs. Like, what are you doing here? And maybe Rose will be the proud one where, like, my daughter is breaking ground. Like, you go, girl. That could be a possibility where she's the proud one.
feel like
Yeah,
he defends her against to Abe. Maybe I don't know.
But you've seen both reactions from Rose. Like you've seen the what is it going to be? We got to keep a secret that you guys are separated.
Oh, yeah. Rose, I never know what I'm going to get from that lady.
but
It's just a crapshoot.
I feel like just, and this is just only speaking like my gut, just my gut narratively. I feel like both parents can't be upset with her. Just it would feel unbalanced for some strange reason, just from a story perspective. So just for that reason alone, I'm going to say that Rose actually is accepting of it.
And this has been such a good time for Rose and Midge as mother and daughter too. They're very they're very close and they're doing all these things together. And part of that is the absence of Midge running out every night and doing gigs. But but I think that there's a real strength to their relationship that that you know, it's been hard to depict till now.
Definitely. I can see that. I really could see Rose, like, just sort of understanding Midge's need to do this after her leaving for Paris, and sort of understanding the need to do that for herself. Before we wrap up, can we talk very quickly about the weird dude?
Chester.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Chester, I think he's precious, but that plate of eggs, that's on a whole different level. Like, why, dude?
What level is
Is that
that?
a Cool Hand Luke reference?
What level is that, Kendra?
I'm not sure, but a whole plate of eggs, and that is all he is eating. Like, he takes it to a completely different weird level
And he's
than
also
anybody else I've ever seen.
wearing pinstripes too. You just made that cool hand Luke reference.
I know that actor has a podcast called Dead Eyes, and if I'm not mistaken, the reason it's called Dead Eyes is because I guess when he had um, gone out on auditions, what that was one of the criticisms is that his eyes, he just sort of had these dead eyes. I mean, it works for this role because he's creepy, um, but at the same time, kind of um, knowing about what Susie's doing. But I haven't been able to listen to the podcast, but I'm very curious. I don't know the actor's name or anything, but I was reading, I don't know, a review of really good podcasts, and that was one of them.
I just think it's precious that he has a crush on our dear little Susie. And I love seeing her get so uncomfortable
It
when he pays attention to her.
is it a crush?
I think so. I think he fancies little Miss Susie.
Huh. I definitely think he's weird, and I definitely agree that he is somewhat precious. But who is he? What is he? Is he a janitor there? Is he like is he on the help staff? Is he like like
My
Maybe
what
he's a
what
theory,
is he?
he's
Susie.
doing the same thing Susie's doing.
Yeah.
That's what he was
Yeah.
saying. I've been here. He said something like, "I've been here 9 years or 7 years, and you're the first person I've met who is of like mind." And I think it's because that's his thing. He also is mooching off of the excesses of the resort, and having an opportunity to sort of wander around. And he had the wrench the way Susie had the plunger.
So wait.
Yeah, my
So okay.
theory was that he wanted to go to the resort and kind of like enjoy the amenities there, but he just could never afford it. So he just pulled out the wrench, dressed in this like jumpsuit.
Aha. Okay. So that
Then
but that isn't
he
why
decided to go
Susie's
to
there.
that.
But that isn't
That's
why
true.
Susie.
That's a
That
good point.
okay.
Yeah,
Right. So that's not why Susie's there, but that's why he thinks Susie's there,
that's
and
right. He
that's
doesn't
why
know
he's
that.
Yeah.
there. Got
Yeah.
it.
Also
Oh my
too,
gosh. Okay, I
the
love that.
actor's name, Curry, you wanted to know, is Connor Ratliff. I
Oh
don't know if
yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
right.
that right.
Oh wow. Um
So yeah, look for the podcast Dead Eyes.
I love it. It's so
I'm very curious, but I'm knee deep in podcasts right now.
yeah, he's a fun character. Definitely a fun character. Don't I'm not imagining a character that lasts much longer than their stay in the Catskills, but he's certainly interesting.
Well, yeah, Susie was only there because Midge was there, and you saw how she got upset when Midge didn't tell her she left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, I'm excited to find out what happens next. My guess is that we have one more episode in the Catskills before they leave. That's my prediction, or
And we
maybe
only have,
8. How many
I was gonna say
episodes left?
are there 10 in this season?
Yeah, I think that we've still got 4 more. I mean, sorry, yeah, we've got 6 more. Wait, yeah, right?
This was
No,
episode
hold on.
5.
We
Yeah,
have 4 more.
yeah,
No,
this
we
is
have
the
no,
halfway
we have
point.
6. No, we have 5 more. Sorry, we have 5 more.
We
I'm
are
like,
very
oh,
good
we
at
have
math in
4
this
more.
group.
No, we have 6 more. No, we have 4 more. No, we have 6 more. No,
Yeah,
right in between the two. That's how many more we have.
Do you know
yeah,
what's
we're
even more
right.
exciting? Is we have 1 month till season 4 airs.
I know this is super cool. This is like, first of all, what's kind of cool is that Marvelous Mrs. Maisel season 4 will be this project's first ever watch where everybody is watching fresh and nobody knows what's going to happen. At least those of us who are going to be waiting to watch with each of us. I'm sure there will be some who will just binge the whole season the first night that it's out. But
I will absolutely wait.
thank you.
Um,
Thank you, Shauna.
I'm not
And I
making
and
any
I
promises.
I don't.
and
Yeah. No.
I want to host. I want to be a host for that season too, so I can be just geeking out, be like, "Oh my god, yes! Oh my god!" Yeah.
Perfect. Um, all
We do
right.
need to work
So
out our math skills though. When there's 5
That's right.
episodes in and
Exactly.
there's 10
It's
in the
good.
season, we have 6 left.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out. I'm excited. I think one more episode in the Catskills, and maybe even next episode is when they leave the Catskills. We've got 5 more episodes of the season. Lots more to happen. Benjamin is in New York City, so we're gonna get more of him. I do expect that that relationship will crumble by the end of the season, but it will be fun while it lasted. Who's gonna join me?
Hmm.
And also to the harvest window, you got 4 more minutes.
That's right. I'm gonna head out and I'm gonna harvest. I will see you all on. Well, if you're gonna join us for Buffy, we'll be doing that on Thursday night. And if you are only joining us for Maisel, I'll see you on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. my
And
time.
there is a Maisel watch tomorrow for the rewatch for
That's
anybody who
right.
could.
Maisel at 10 a.m. tomorrow for anyone who was not able to be there tonight or would like to watch it again.
And also look out for those of you that are playing the Memento game. There is going to be a memento for this episode in the future, and
Oh
I will
yeah,
let everybody know um, when it's dropped.
perfect. All right. See you all soon.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Cindy and
John.
Lynn.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
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 Thank you for hosting.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for hosting, Lynn,
Yeah.
Cindy.
Good night, John. Good night, everybody.